Gray whales typically we see in the spring. We can see them around the San Juan Islands at different times of year as they're passing through, but most commonly what happens is in the spring we get this core group of about 10 to 12 gray whales that come in to Puget Sound and they feed for a few months before continuing north. So they're basically migrating between Baja, Mexico, and Alaska. And about 10 to 12 of them come and do this little stopover for a few months. They feed on ghost shrimp off of Whidbey Island here, and then they continue north. So there's one particular gray whale that's been coming for at least 24 years in a row now. That's how long he's been documented. His name is Patch. He has a big white patch on his side, so he's really well known. Gray whales have recovered from whaling, and they were actually taken off the endangered species list in 1994. So their population is actually very, very stable. Humpback whales are also recovering from whaling, and they are right now in the process of being removed from the endangered species list. That is underway right now. So the population was very heavily hunted, especially here in the Salish Sea. They were actually completely wiped out of the Salish Sea from whaling, but they are starting to recover, and we're starting to see them coming in more and more now. So every year we see more and more of them. We do have a couple of individuals that show up year after year, like there's one named Big Mama that comes every year. She sometimes has babies with her, which is how she got her name. There's another one named Windy. So these are ones that are really well known that come year after year, and then we get a lot of others passing through as well. So humpbacks we're starting to see more and more often. Minke whales also are a very stable population. They were actually never endangered. They were never really hunted much because they're kind of small. So they're basically the really small cousin to the blue whale. They're about the same size as an orca. So whalers didn't really want them. They had no interest in them. They didn't produce a lot of oil, so they pretty much left them alone. And for that reason, they're pretty plentiful in most of the world. For some reason, this particular area, the Pacific Northwest, has never really had a huge population of minke whales, and we don't really know why. But we do have individuals that come every summer and feed on small schooling fish. So how many of you have heard of a minke whale before now? Okay, well that's good. A lot of people that come in here have no clue what a minke whale is. But once I tell them about, you've heard of Japanese whaling or the Norwegian whaling, it is minke whales that they're going after. So those are the baleen whales. What about the toothed whales? What toothed whales do you think we have here? Orcas. Obviously the orca, which we'll talk a lot more about. What else do we have? We have porpoises. Porpoises, yeah, we have two porpoise species. So the harbor porpoise is the smallest cetacean in the Salish Sea. They're about the size of an average person, maybe 5 to 6 feet long. They're typically in small pods of 2 to 3 individuals, although they can be seen in bigger groups feeding. They're typically pretty shy. So you might see them come up once or twice, and then you might never see them again. It's pretty common for them. They're very plentiful here, so there's a lot of them around. If you watch carefully, you will see them. Again, you just kind of have to really be watching, and you see them once or twice and they're gone. The Dallas porpoise is the other porpoise. These little black and white guys are a little bit bigger. They are not really shy. They'll actually come and bow ride. We're not seeing them in the area as much as we used to. We don't really know for sure why. But we used to see them more than harbor porpoises, and now it's the other way around for some reason. But Dallas porpoises are very fast. They're the fastest of all the small cetaceans. They can go up to 40 miles an hour for short bursts. So typically in bigger pods, they're a lot of fun when we get a chance to see them. And if you look at the coloring, what does it remind you of? An orca, yeah. They're kind of confusing to people sometimes. We do get reports here at the museum from people who've seen a pod of baby orcas that have lost their moms. And they want us to go out and help them find their moms again. It's very, very sweet. But then we have to explain, no, they're porpoises, they're fine. So it's a little confusing to people sometimes. And it doesn't help that they're pretty much the size of a newborn orca as well. So that's just kind of an overview.